guys, my name's Zoe. I'm one of the coaches at PRG at Wyncote in East Falls. I'm going to be running you through a brief hangboard workout today. It's a pretty good introductory hangboard workout, and it's pretty easily adaptable for a variety of skill levels. So if you're newer, that's fine. If you're more experienced, it's also fine. So the workout should take you about 30 minutes. It's interval based, so what that means is you're going to be doing brief periods of work, quote unquote, meaning hanging. So you'll be doing that from probably between 5 to 10 seconds, followed by a brief rest. I would do for a rest between 3 and 7 seconds. And you're going to do 4 to 6 reps, so hang followed by a rest per set, right? And then you're going to do maybe 4 to 7 sets for the given workout. So it should take you about 30 minutes because each set will take you about 1 minute, followed by a minimum of a 3-minute rest period. It's really important to take that rest period, otherwise you're definitely going to risk injury, overuse, tendon strain, etc. It's also really important that if you're feeling sore on any given day, your fingers are hurting, you don't do this workout on that day. Wait until you're feeling a little bit better. Do not do this workout more than twice a week at most. For me personally, I rest 3 to 4 days between hangboard workouts. I'd advise everyone to do the same. And this workout is pretty easily adaptable for if you're a beginner to advanced. I'm going to show a more beginner-oriented workout. Those of you who are a bit more advanced, feel free to change the workout as you see fit. I'd advise against using any of the single or 2-finger pockets on your hangboard for this. Really easy to get an injury resulting from that. Please stay hydrated during the workout. Make sure you're drinking water. I think that's the basics. So the only other piece of equipment besides a hangboard you're going to need is an interval timer. There are a ton of free apps on phones for them. They all work pretty much the same. And obviously a hangboard. I'm going to do the workout on this. It's a Beastmaker 2000 hangboard, but this workout's really easy to do on any hangboard. So you should make sure that you are very warmed up before doing this. I've been working out for the last for a bit. You don't necessarily want to do this at the end of your workout. Again, it's going to be pretty easy to have strain that way. You should do this pretty much immediately after your warm-up. So the way that I'm going to do this is because I don't really think any of you want to watch me rest for 3 minutes in between like 5 or 6 sets. I'm going to just go through the basics of what like the first 2-3 reps of a set might look like. And then I'm just going to move on to the next one. So this is not an example of a full workout. This is just a very, very abbreviated one so you guys can kind of get an idea of what to do. So the first thing that I'm going to do would be I'm going to hang from these 2 bigger edges on either side. I recommend starting with some better holds and then working your way to smaller ones. It'll help warm your fingers up. Since these holds are pretty good for me, I would start with a 6 set. It's kind of the maximum, or I'm sorry, 6 rep set. It's kind of the maximum number of reps you would want in a given set. And I'm going to do 7 seconds on, 3 seconds off. So each rep is 10 seconds, and it would be 6 of them. I'm only going to do 2 of these, just to give you guys the idea. So here we go. So that's the timer. So as you can see, I'm hanging, just not pulling, no weights, nothing. It's a dead hang for 7 seconds. Back on. Okay. So I would do that for 7-second work period of hanging and a 3-second rest period, and I'd repeat that 6 times in a row. Then I'd rest for 3 minutes. It's really important also that you should not be full or closed crimping during this workout. You should be focusing on having a open hand or a half crimp at the most intense. for these hangs because this is a lot of repetitive stress. Okay, I'm not going to take the 3-minute rest just in terms of the demonstration. The other thing, the next set that I would do is I'm going to use these 3-finger pockets. I'm going to grab them. There are 2-finger pockets for any of these three fingers. For me, I can get 3 fingers in if I use my middle ring and little finger. A lot of people tend to neglect their little finger when they climb, so this is a good way to strengthen that finger and also just work on reminding yourself to use it. Because I'm not using all 4 fingers, and I am using my pinky finger, I'm going to give myself a little bit more rest on this for this exercise. So I'm going to use the 7 seconds on, 5 seconds off. I'm going to do 6 sets of that. So again, I will show you 2 sets, and I'll stop. So, yeah. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to show you the full thing. I'm just going to really quickly check to make sure my camera is still filming. We're good. Great. Okay, make sure you're engaging your core while you're doing this. That actually will make it a little bit easier. The other thing is if you are starting to feel strain, that isn't just workout strain, no, that's not really specific. If you're starting to feel strain or pain, or inability to complete the reps in a given set, you've made this workout too hard. You should be able to complete all of the reps in a given set. The way that you can kind of adjust the difficulty as necessary is you can give yourself more rest in between reps and in between sets. You can hold on for a reduced amount of time. So you can do like a 5-second work period or hang period instead of a 7-second one. The other thing that you can do is you can keep your feet on the ground while engaging as much as you can with your hands. I realize that sounds weird, but for instance, if I were to go up to these smaller crimps and not be comfortable hanging with my full body weight off of them, I can engage like this, so I'm still putting more weight on my hands, like than just simply touching the holds, but I'm not taking my feet off the ground. A kind of cool way and an easy way to chart progress this way is if you have a bathroom scale and your hangboard is situated above a hardwood or concrete floor or whatever, you can stand on the scale and then do those sets or those reps. And if you know your body weight, you can simply subtract the number that the scale gives you from your body weight, and the resulting number is the amount of weight that your hands are taking off. So there's that. It's good to throw in slopers if you have that option. So this hangboard has a few sloper options, so I'm going to do a set on those. So I'll start that now. I'm going to do, again, 7 seconds on, 5 off. Okay, last thing I'm going to explain is a way to gradually work on moving to worse holds. A hangboard like this one has a symmetrical setup and then a single, like a one-hand hold in the middle. You wouldn't necessarily match this, it'd be pretty hard. What you can do is, this is a 20mm edge. To work on hanging from these smaller edges on the side, you can do sets where one hand is on the better hold in the middle, and one hand's on the worse one to the side. If you're going to do that, make sure that you are switching off and having each hand be on the worse hold and on the better hold to keep things balanced. Also make sure that you're keeping equal weight on each hand. You don't want to be favoring the hand on the better hold. That'll kind of defeat the purpose. So it would look like this, for instance. Then I would do however many reps of that, followed by a 3-minute rest, and then switch. So I'm using the same hold, same bad hold for my right hand, and the same good hold for my left hand. So, the way that I would recommend structuring your workout would be 1 set on some better holds. So for instance, the good edges, followed by a set with your back 3 fingers, so ring, middle, and pinky fingers instead, taking off the index, a sloper set, and then some sets on worse holds. So depending on your skill level, whether that be working up to these smaller holds by having one hand on the good hold, if it's sets with both hands on these bad ones. That is kind of the way that I would get started with this. There are some other things that you can work up to in terms of working on single arm strength with your feet on the ground. That said, I would not recommend starting or even really doing that unless you really have some experience. Again, make sure you're resting enough between sets. Do not do this if you have any finger injuries or if you're sore that day. Make sure you have a proper warm-up. If any of you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, Zoe, or any of the other PRG staff.